Good afternoon, everyone. Today I got an old cruise book I wanted to share with everybody. This is from my grandfather, Bob Stanton, from his time in service. He was in the Navy Seabees. He enlisted in 1942, right when the Seabees were starting up. He had tried to join the regular Navy after Pearl Harbor, but he was denied because he was colorblind. So he ended up joining the Seabees about a little over a year later. So this was in his stuff when he passed away. We got this, I believe, from his funeral certificate thanking him for his service. So this is the cruise book. He was a member of the 11th USN Construction Battalion. So this is from their Southern Cross duty, it looks like. Just kind of want to look through this here. Well, it looks like a American Legion membership sheet here. Southern Cross Duty, 1942 to 1944, 11th U.S. Naval Construction Battalion. So as far as his service, I know he was stationed in Guam for a while, Samoa too, I believe. So this is pretty neat. Used to make these a lot back in the day, these cruise books. They still make them now, but I don't think they're as popular as they once were. Talk about history of the Seabees here. Looks like when the 11th was created. When I was visiting the Navy UDT Museum down in Florida, they had mentioned a lot of the early SEALs came from the Seabee community, so I thought that was pretty neat there. So, communication centers. Tafuna. And they built airstrips. That's what a lot of people don't know about the Navy Seabees. Oftentimes, they were on these islands, right along with the Marines. Marines are clearing out the Japanese, and the Seabees are coming right behind them to build runways. So, Leone, Sierra Leone, it looks like. A lot of good information here. I know when he was stationed over, I think, in New Caledonia, I believe it was, he ended up getting really sick. Had to come back to the States for a while. I think it was malaria or something like that. Some of the pictures of the locals here. Here we go, the island of Samoa. New Caledonia, here we go. I know he was stationed New Caledonia. So Samoa, New Caledonia. The officers' mess and nurses' quarters. Looks a little nicer than the Quonset huts the enlisted were probably staying in. Convalescent camp, New Caledonia. Post-exchange building in Caledonia. Company B in New Caledonia, looks nice. Some entertainment here, that's funny. Auckland. Looks like they made a little port visit here maybe to Auckland, New Zealand. Yeah, they're in New Zealand during the holiday season. Did not know that. Los Negros. Banaka Island, didn't know much about that. It looks like that's in the Admiralties. Look at those conditions these guys were building camps in. That's crazy. You clear out all these palm trees and you build these Quonset huts or set up these tents, and then these tropical storms come through and just soak it with mud. Seaplane base ramp. Build a whole port there in Los Negros. Wow. Some of these islands you never even hear about. Rescue of the Chinese on Los Negros. Yep, stuff you never even hear about. Headquarters Company, Company A. That mascot, that's funny. 2 years of accomplishments, 1942 to 1944. That was the first sojourn of the 11th Battalion in the South Seas. Interesting. Traveled over 20,000 miles from Camp Allen, Virginia. That was where my grandfather had went to basic training, was Camp Allen. So I'm not exactly sure of the timeline of how long he was on his deployment before he got sick and got sent home. A lot of interesting information here, though. You don't realize, look at some of these pictures, the average age of these guys is probably, I'm guessing, in their 30s. A lot of these guys, you know, came from the construction fields. Simone Glossary. Battalion muster. Men of the 11th Construction Battalion were recruited from many sections of the United States. Here's their names in alphabetical order. Wow. So if anybody has a relative that was in the 11th Construction Battalion, be interested in looking up the information, and I can get you a picture of their name here. I always like looking into the history here. So his last name was Stanton. So here we go. Seaman First Class, on board from 26th January 43 to 5th of October 43. That was when he got sick there in October 43. Says he's from Detroit, Michigan, because that was the military entrance processing station he came out of, but he's from Toledo, Ohio. So pretty neat to have this family history here. We're definitely going to read it more in depth, but pretty cool thing. So thanks, everybody. I appreciate you. Check out some of the other videos I have for other neat World War II artifacts we've been going through. Thanks, everybody.